SKMEI is going to be quite well known for those interested in budget watches, especially the SKMEI watches that homage more expensive brands. This one, the 9393, is I believe an original design, and it looks like it was designed in the 70s to represent a watch in the future, a retro futuristic watch, if there is such a thing. So this is the SKMEI 9393, and let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all, and welcome back to another BBW review. So the SKMEI 9393. The reason I got this watch is not just because I like SKMEI watches. I think they're, for the price, one of the best budget brands out there. I got this because of the design. I've never actually seen this design before, and as I mentioned, I think it is SKMEI's only, and it, if there is such a thing, gives a retro futuristic look. I think it really looks nice, and it's available in quite a few other colours. The one I will be getting next will be a champagne dial, which I'll show you the other colours now. Now, one disclaimer I should mention straight off the bat is that this camera doesn't do justice to the dial on this watch. It doesn't really pick out the watch as clear as it should be. It really is a beautiful dial. This pattern, this segmented pattern, this paneling here, it's not printed, it is actually profiled and cut into the dial to give it a really nice look, and not a sunburst, but it does really catch the light well. Again, not on camera, but outside in the open, it really does look nice. Again, I think the champagne dial looks a bit better, but I got this blue one, which the camera doesn't really do it justice. So let's have a look at the specs on this first. Oh, first of all, the most important thing is the cost. Being a SKMEI, it's not going to be outrageously expensive, just $10. And I think that's an amazing bargain, $10 for this watch. It weighs 94 grams. The dimensions are 39 millimeters from east to west there, with a 42 millimeter lug to lug, which I think is always the most important dimension. So this is going to fit any wrist really. It's quite a snug fit. The depth from the flat base to the domed crystal, and it is a mineral crystal on top, is 10 millimeters. There's some contention I have with the crystal, which I'll get into in a minute, but the strap, get a very 70s strap. It's 20 millimeters at the lug, and it doesn't narrow down at all. It joins the clasp at also 20 millimeters. I'll go into the strap a bit later. Back to the dial. The construction, being SKMEI and being a budget watch, you're going to get a chrome-plated alloy, a zinc, I can imagine. The case itself, snug as I mentioned, it's nice and flat, it's faceted, as you can see. My only problem with the case is it's a bit blingy, it's a bit shiny, it's a bit too much chrome on there, but I'm guessing if it does fit, or it attempts to fit, a 70s futuristic design, then that would be the case. It should be blingy, but I think it would look a lot better if it was sandblasted, but that's just me. So you get this faceted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 octagonal design case. Originally I thought it was going to be a bit big from lug to lug, but it is just 42 millimeters, so it does fit very well. And the crystal is domed. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but it has a nice dome. The problem I have is with, I'm not sure if you can make this out, these facets here and down here, you can't really pick that out, but you can see from the light reflection here, there's a line down here where the crystal slopes, and one down this side. And the problem is, as you can see, they do catch the light in the wrong ways. I think it would have been better if it was either all flat, or if they could somehow design it without these. But because of the shape of the case, I think you'd have to include these sloped facets here. But it doesn't detract from the whole look of the watch, and again, it does look much better in nature, not under this camera light. So again, back to this face, really nice boarding here, which is three-dimensional. It's not printed, it is applied, and it catches the lights in all different kinds of ways. It can look green outside, and in some lights it looks blue here. It doesn't look as dark as it is under the camera. It's quite a bit lighter than this. You don't get any markers for the times. You can see here you get a marker here and a marker here with the quartz at the bottom. You can hardly make out, not at all here. You have SKMEI in grey written at the top, and you have a marker here, which is just a line, and a marker here. So there are no minute markers at all, but with this attempt to be as minimalist as it can, regardless of this beautiful dial, you can make out the time. I don't really need numbers or buttons to make out the time. This is close to here is going to be 2:20 as it is at the moment. The hands themselves are simple stick hands with a simple stick second hand, and you get a strip of loom. $10, you're going to get paint and no loom in the darkness at all, which I don't mind. Loom to me has never been a big concern, same with dates, and I'm glad this doesn't have a date. It would really detract from how nice this dial looks. On the side you get a 5mm crown. Let's have a look at this crown now with that minute hand jump. So you can't see, there's no marker for the hour, but let's have a look if this minute hand does jump. Slightly backwards there. Let's do the two fingers now. 1, 2, 3. No jump. And thumb. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. So if you do it fast enough, you don't get any jump at all, which denotes a pretty good movement. It's going to be a Chinese movement, but fair enough for $10. I do like that case and the dial a lot. Now let's go on to the back of the watch. So the back of the watch is pretty standard material. You have the brand name SKMEI, the designation, which is the 9393. You have, I'm not sure if you can make that out clearly, water resistance to 3 ATM or 30 meters, and quite useful, as SKMEI do this a lot on the backs of their watches. They give you the battery number for when you are ordering a new one, which is very useful. The battery cover itself is, I'm not sure if it's stainless steel. It doesn't mention stainless steel. It might be just alloy, as in the best of the case. But you do get a 4 screwed down cover, which has Phillips screws in each corner. That's as exciting as the back of a watch can be. Now onto the strap. So the strap itself, to match with the 70s retro feel, is a very 70s styled bracelet. It's folded links, but as you can see, they're very tightly folded. There's almost no gap in between them, and there's no gap really in between each of these individual links. So it doesn't actually nip hairs because there, again, no gaps to nip hairs with. So it's quite a well constructed bracelet considering what it is. It fits very well to the wrist, so you're going to get a nice fit, especially because of that snug width of the lug-to-lug there. It's a 20mm where it joins with the case, and it doesn't taper down, so it joins with the sliding clasp at 20mm also. Now the sliding clasp is something that I was impressed with. Again, considering it's $10, SKMEI did something they didn't really need to do. Now I like these sliding clasps because it's just kind of plug and play. You slide it up to the measurement you need, press it down, and it's done. There's no banging pins in or fighting to get these links out, because the links do not need to be removed. So it's set at my 6.5-inch wrist length or width at the moment. Now, your standard straps of this kind have a clasp like this. But as you can see, what SKMEI have done as an added extra, is this part. They put a safety clasp on top of that. And that's really nice, and that's something SKMEI did not need to do, especially for $10. I've never seen this on any other sliding clasp before. So that's a really nice touch. Again, the safety lock off, and the normal clasp there. So well done, SKMEI, and thanks for that. Again, it's difficult to do on camera, but there it is, connected there. Clasp on, that's your standard strap of this kind. But then SKMEI, going an extra step, does the safety lock. Well done, SKMEI. Ooh. Now, last thing to do is let's have a look at this thing on the wrist. So for your reference, I've said it a number of times, but I have a 6.5-inch wrist, and once again, this is a 42mm lug to lug. So as you can see, there's absolutely no overhang at all under the lugs, no gaps at all. So a very, very good fit. Trying to zoom in there a bit. I hope that's clear. So it really does fit well. At 92 grams, it's doesn't have a real heft, but it certainly does show its presence in the weight. 10mm depth, so it doesn't stick out too much, and does go under the shirt cuff. Again, I don't like that reflection on the parts of the crystal where it curves down here and here, but that can't be helped. That is something in the design that you have to live with, but it's not a problem. Another snag I don't like is, and again, it's probably part of the watch that makes it look retro, is the sheen, how much bling there is on that chrome. I wish they would have done it sandblasted, but as I mentioned earlier, if they sandblasted it, it would take away from the fact that I think they are trying to represent a 70s retro watch. So in that respect, it should be well chromed. Oh, and there is a wrist roll with that double clasp, which I really like. Well done, SKMEI. Secure. And there it is. So there you have it, the 9393 from SKMEI, a brand that I think, in my opinion, have really upped their game over the last few years, especially when they can design their own watches, such as this one. Do I recommend it? I thoroughly recommend this one. So much, in fact, I'm going to get that champagne dial. So thanks for watching, and as usual, I hope to see you again on the next watch on the green chair. Until then, as usual, take it easy.